Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? What a home run derby that we just had. Oh my goodness. Juan Soto taking home the crown. Pete Alonso, the polar bear, has finally been taken down after winning 2 straight home run derbies. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk a little Juan Soto, not just the home run derby, but we're going to talk a little bit of trade talk as well. We're going to get into the details he talked about, all of the trade talk today. We'll get into the details that he was discussing with the media today. We're going to talk a little MLB Draft Day 2. Got a few picks that I like out of Day 2 today. I'm going to talk a little bit about Rafael Devers and his contract extension with the Boston Red Sox. Speaking of the Red Sox, we got Chris Sale. He got surgery on his finger today. We'll talk a little Chris Sale. Let's get to it. And good evening, baseball fans. Hello. I know you just saw power rankings right there, but this is not power rankings. We're taking the week off of power rankings for today. Everyone, how are we doing? What is going on? Fun home run derby tonight. It's kind of nice to just sit back and just enjoy the show. I had Pete Alonso going for a 3-peat tonight. I thought he was going to do it. I'm thinking there's no way Pete Alonso is going to lose this thing. And yeah, of course, every pick I make is always wrong. I'm terrible at predictions. What can I say? But Juan Soto taking home the crown. Julio Rodriguez, man, putting on quite a show. I'm thinking, oh my, is this dude about to just win this whole thing just like, another rookie like Aaron Judge did back in 2017? Oh my goodness. Julio Rodriguez, he is going to be just a star, man. He's going to be a star, man. I don't know. Waffle Man, according to multiple sources, we are among the front runners for Juan Soto. I don't think anyone is a front runner for Juan Soto right now. I think we got to calm down with all of that. I don't think any team is a front runner at all right now. So we got to calm down a little bit with that. I've been seeing some people saying, "Oh, this team they're gonna get Juan Soto." I don't think anyone knows what the heck's going on right now with Juan Soto, but we are going to talk a little bit about that. Not just the home run derby. I'll break it down a little bit. And we'll get to the Juan Soto trade talks. Not a whole lot to talk about. I feel like we really went in depth with it the other night. So I'm not going to get too deep into it. I feel like I talked about that for over an hour the other night. So if you didn't see that stream, go check it out. It was from Saturday night. We're going to talk a little MLB Draft. We had Day 2 today. Had some pretty fun picks coming out of Day 2. And one pick who should have gone in the first round. I'll talk about who that is as well. Rafael Devers, Chris Sale. Going to talk about those guys. And, yeah, let's get to it, everyone. But before I do get started, as always, if you are new to the channel, think about subscribing down below. If you're looking for more news and content within the baseball world, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell button. That way you get notified every time I go live. It was nice to see the notification get out earlier. There are times where that notification doesn't get out there, so it was nice to see that it got out. And also, everyone, what are you doing right now? Stop what you're doing. Put down the detox green tea. Put down the Eggo waffles that you just put into the toaster. Put it all down and go hit that like button for me right now. Go hit it right now. Also, hey, share the stream anywhere you can. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Just go share the stream. But everyone, also, don't forget, we're partners with SeatGeek over here. $20 off your first purchase. Go find yourselves a deal so you can go to a game in the second half of the season. And we are partners with Prize Picks. If you are into the sports betting game, use my code Ginger. 100% deposit match. If you use my code, then if you deposit $20, they'll give you $20. So go check it out. Go make some bets here in the second half of the season for Major League Baseball. So, everyone, let's get to it here. Let's talk a little home run derby. Oh my, what a fun night this was tonight. And Twitter, man, full of all the good memes tonight, man. Full of all the good memes. Hold on one second. Let me get my Stream Deck ready here. Okay, Stream Deck is ready. Okay, here we go. But home run derby. It started off. We had how many? What, 1, 2, 3. My eyes were just going crazy right there. We had 4 different matchups to start off round 1. We had Schwarber versus Pujols, Pete Alonso versus Ronald Acuna Jr., Seager versus Julio, Soto versus J-Ram. Here is what I picked. I was going to do a video on this earlier, but I just got caught up with everything. I forgot to. Today, I joined the Stark Ravings Sports live stream, the Celebration of Baseball live stream. That was a lot of fun. Go check that out. Whole bunch of baseball YouTubers hopping on there. Giraffe Neck Mark, King of Juco hopped on there as well. Really fun stream today. Go check it out if you haven't already. So, taking a look here. My predictions were, I had Kyle Schwarber going over Pujols. I had Pete Alonso going over Ronald Acuna Jr. I did go Corey Seager over Julio Rodriguez. I figured, hey man, I'm going with the veteran guy, the last minute addition. I think he was the last addition to this. And then I actually had J-Ram get into the finals, man. I thought, hey man, underrated guy, J-Ram. But then again, why am I picking against Soto, man? This guy was just in the Derby last year. You know, the Derby is quite a different experience. And Juan Soto, he learned a little bit last year. I should have went with Soto, you know, like thinking back on it in hindsight. It's like, yeah, you know, just was in it last year. He's probably going to do a little better this year, and look what happened. So, out of my picks, only one of the picks in the first round ended up happening, Pete Alonso. I thought this dude was going to go all the way to the finals. I thought he was going to win the whole thing. There were a lot of people on Twitter, man, about the Schwarber and Pujols matchup. Dude, Barstool Sports was going out there, and they were saying, dude, this is rigged. There is no way Pujols should have won this thing. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not going to sit here and play conspiracy theory, but I did. Oh, there were so many funny memes on there. I even posted one. There was the Brock Lesnar Hulk Hogan moment from like back in like 2014 or something. And I basically put the caption, this is going to be Kyle Schwarber going up to Albert Pujols after his little celebration. And then Brock Lesnar says to Hulk Hogan, party's over, Grandpa. Party's over. And I'm thinking there's no way Schwarber's losing this thing. And then Pujols just rose up like the Undertaker. The Barstool Sports, man, they put out a really funny video. I'll tell you, wrestling is as dopey as it gets, but there are so many funny clips from the past where if you put a certain caption with those videos, they're so funny. And Barstool Sports, they put a video of the Undertaker. They show him laying in his casket or whatever, and then he got Randy Orton. It was when they had their match. I forget what WrestleMania it was, but it was leading up to that. And you had Undertaker just stick his hand out from in the casket and grab Randy Orton by the throat. And so that they were saying, this is Pujols after beating Schwarber. Oh my God, man. I was dying. I saw so many funny memes of that, because really it's like, it felt like, come on, really? Like, is this actually happening right now? I don't know. But hey, Pujols, man, he's got nothing left to lose, man. He's just like, all right, this is my last year, home run derby. Let's do it, man. I just can't believe Schwarber lost. Like, that's crazy to me, man. But hey, Pujols pulling it out. Pete Alonso. I didn't think Ronald Acuna Jr. I love him as a player. I just don't see him as like a home run derby kind of a guy. And, you know, Seager actually did really good. Seager had the second most home runs in the first round, but Julio Rodriguez just went off. He just went nuts. And, you know, in the end, I mean, Seager, if he went up against anyone else, he would have advanced. So, I mean, I just got a little unlucky with that pick, I guess. But moving on to round 2, hey, pretty solid semifinal, man. You had a lot of good storylines here. Juan Soto, Albert Pujols, the next superstar player against, you know, the old superstar player with Albert Pujols, man. Great matchup. Good storyline right there. Juan Soto. I'm like, dude, if Albert Pujols wins this thing, if he beats Juan Soto, I'm gonna like, all right. I always kind of wonder about this stuff, man. I'm not gonna, take it away from Albert Pujols. Great moment that he ended up getting to the second round. But I always wonder, man, like people somewhere in like a little room somewhere, be like, all right, okay, people are catching on now. All right, no, we can't have Pujols win this thing. Nope. Have Soto win it. Have Soto win it. Nope. We're pulling the plug on this thing. People are catching on now. And anyway, but Soto, he should have won this round. Absolutely. Moved on to the finals. I am shocked that Pete Alonso, dude, Julio Rodriguez just went off. It just went off. And again, Julio Rodriguez, Pete Alonso had the second most home runs in this round. Just like Corey Seager, where he had the second most in round one, but he got knocked out. Julio Rodriguez was on absolute fire. He just tired himself out, man, for the finals. And Juan Soto just edging him out in the end. Longest home run for Soto was 471 feet. Julio Rodriguez, his longest was 446. What was the longest in... Is my music playing? Okay, cool. So if we go to round two, Soto had 476. Pujols had 476. Soto had 459. Alonso had a 463. J-Rod had a 450. In round one, Schwarber had a 470. Pujols had a 434. Alonso had a 480. Cunha 472. Seager 451. J-Rod 463. Juan Soto 482. Wow. Man, J-Ram, man, I thought he was going to do something in this, man. Came up just lame in this, man. But yeah, I guess that goes to show if, the really good players aren't maybe the best guys for the home run derby. But Soto, he is just absolutely good at everything. What can you do, man? What can you do? Juan Soto, the home run derby champion. Moving on. Oh, we got a super chat coming in. Jimmy Productions, what do you think of the Red Sox pick from Liberty High School? My cousin's friend, the kid who said he's like Blaze Jordan. Yeah, man. Good raw power. That's Cutter Coffee, right? That's the one, Cutter Coffee? Or was that Roman Anthony? Hold on, hold on, which one was that again? Oh, it's Cutter Coffee. Yeah, I like Cutter Coffee. It reminds me of Blaze Jordan because he has that raw power, but he is more athletic. Plays a good shortstop out there. Cutter Coffee, there's just some things to work on with the hit tool, but I like the upside with him. Anytime I see a guy that has right-handed raw power, hey, for Fenway Park, you can't really complain about that. I like some of the picks that the Red Sox had today. No big name standouts with the Red Sox for today, but overall, I liked some of it. You went pretty prep heavy in the first round there, or in the first day, and then today they leaned a little more towards college pitchers. I like that they really stacked up on some pitchers. Dalton Rogers in round 3 out of Southern Mississippi. There's a lot to like with him, a lefty. You went with Chase Maedroff out of University of San Diego. What do you know? Another shortstop. But then they just went pitcher heavy for the next 4 picks here. Yeah, Jimmy Productions, Cutter Coffee. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy, for the super chats. Do really appreciate that. But yeah, you went with Alex Hopp, Caleb Bolden, Jonathan Brand. Noah Dean. I did like the Noah Dean pick. You got him at a pretty good value. But yeah, I thought the Red Sox had a pretty solid draft today. They did reach a lot in this draft, but they did get good value at certain spots as well. So it kind of evened out in the end. But overall, I like what the Red Sox did. Can't really complain. Hopefully some of these guys can pan out. So let's get to, I know why 215 of you are here. Let's talk a little Juan Soto, huh? Let's talk a little Juan Soto. So today, he was talking with the media. Today. And my goodness, Is Juan Soto actually going to get traded? I'm still a little, what's the word here? I'm more leaning towards the offseason. Oh my God, like it's just such a big trade to pull off, especially when you got, there's going to be teams calling, man. It's not like it's going to be a little bit of like a little market. I mean, maybe it could end up only being maybe like somewhere like 5 to 7 teams, somewhere in that range. But I just feel like, man, I don't know. It just feels like it's going to be more of an off-season thing. We sometimes have stuff like this happen. Maybe not to the level of Juan Soto, but you definitely you have some of these big-time stories that come out, and you just feel like it's going to be a little too good to be true. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't mean to be a pessimist here. I mean, could you imagine if that happens? I mean, I remember Manny Ramirez back in 2005. That's what it really reminds me of. Maybe Manny wasn't the level. I mean, Manny was amazing. He was very good, but not like a Juan Soto. Juan Soto is more like an Alex Rodriguez kind of a player, like a transcendent player. Manny Ramirez was like a plus guy. Juan Soto is like plus. So, but I remember that Manny Ramirez trade talk back in 2005. I remember the media, they got a hold of it, and they were drilling that into everyone's brains, like every day. Where's Manny Ramirez going? Where's Manny Ramirez going to get traded to? I remember there were teams like the Baltimore Orioles that were getting involved. The Mets were getting involved. You had a couple other teams I can't seem to remember at the moment, but I remember that just every day. Man, it was like, it looked like it was a done thing. It looked like it was done. Manny was going to get traded in 2005. And then he ended up coming up for the Red Sox in that game they were playing that day. He had a pinch hit, go-ahead base hit there in the bottom of the 8th inning. So I feel like the same thing is going to happen with Juan Soto. I just don't think, I mean, I don't know. It just seems a little too good to be true. But they did talk about it today. So the New York Times here, Juan Soto is 23, is already one of the game's best players. After extinction talks broke down, he could be on his way out of town. Until then, he wants to concentrate on baseball. So they were kind of doing their media scrum today, and these were the comments that he had. For me now, I'm just concentrating on baseball. You can't do anything about it. I have my hands tied. I'm just going to play as hard as I can and play baseball and forget about anything else. I don't make the decisions. They take the decisions. If they want to make the decision, I just got to pack my stuff and go. Now I'm going to keep playing baseball as hard as he can. Well, he definitely took his frustrations out tonight in the home run derby. Soto was clearly peeved that the latest extension offer became public. He said it was pretty tough and pretty frustrating because I tried to keep my stuff private. Well, someone in that Nationals organization leaked it out. I wonder who it was in the end. I mean, who was it? Was it someone in the analytics department? Was it, general manager's cousin? Was it one of these, guys out there who have their little, Twitter accounts, where they make these Twitter accounts, and who was that one guy in the off season? He was a kid. It was like someone's son. And, I'm like going blank on that. It was one of the coaches like on the Rangers or something. His son, he like tweeted something out about I think it was maybe Trevor Story or something. And then I guess the guy made him delete his account or something. Oh man. It's hard, man, to keep stuff under wraps, but it came out from someone in that Nationals organization. That's big news. I don't know. Well, did the Nationals want to get it out there? I mean, or was it someone that just kind of, slip of the tongue kind of a thing? Or maybe they just wanted to leak it out. I don't know. Probably more likely they wanted to leak it out just so they make it known to the public, like, hey, we offered this guy some big bucks, so we don't want anyone thinking that we're the bad guys here. We offered him $440 over 15, so we're not the bad guys. We're not the bad guys. That's what I think. That's what I think happened. So he goes on to say, Scott Boras also talked today. When we do these things, we want all of our discussions to be private. This is an interesting comment right here. We now know that they're not. So I'm sure Juan will take that into advisement as he goes forward. That's pretty, that's a pretty juicy little comment right there. Juan Soto's ticked off that this stuff got out, man, because he wanted this stuff to be behind closed doors. So now he's thinking, all right, forget these guys. I want out of here. I don't want to play. I don't want to play this kind of game, you know. And I think for the Nationals, could that end up, you know, maybe being a mistake moving forward, that they let it get out there? I don't know. Oh, Sam the Man. That's right. Tim Hires. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, I think Juan Soto, I'd be kind of annoyed too. It's like, this is a team that you're talking with to maybe sign up for the, you know, for the rest of your career. And maybe, you know, Juan Soto, it's a weird thing because $440 million is a lot of money, but with Juan Soto, you know, when you got Scott Boras as your agent, it's kind of it's a tough game, man. And they're gonna squeeze out every penny they can, and they probably want to get at least 475 to 500. I can imagine that. I don't know. So, I mean, but when you look at it, it's the way contracts are going these days. He's 23 years old. I mean, it's not, I know it sounds ridiculous, but in terms of when you're comparing it to other contracts, it's not, right? So it'd be interesting, man. I do think those are some interesting comments right there that he says here. I'm sure Juan will take that into advisement as he goes forward. He goes on to say here, in June, Mike Rizzo, the Nationals' longtime general manager, said that the team was not trading Soto, and we've made it clear to his agent and to the player. That's kind of what put a damper on all of this stuff. Remember, Buster Olney came out like a month ago. Someone else, I think, said something that, you know, Juan Soto, the Nationals may look into trading him. And, but then that kind of, you know, these comments put some ice on it. And you didn't hear anything. You didn't hear about anything for a little while. It was pretty much dead, but now it's caught fire again. So on Monday, Soto said no one had told him why that had changed, if at all. It feels really uncomfortable, he added. You don't know what to trust, but at the end of the day, it's out of my hands. Boras went on to say here, this is a very unique setting. Boras said before alluding to Alex Rodriguez, the former star infielder. I haven't had a player that's a superstar since A-Rod, who is going to be a 25 to 26-year-old free agent. They just don't come along that often where you have that level of performance for their teams. They offer clubs a surplus value that may be as much as $1 billion in performance. So, in the end, man, it's going to be really interesting to see where this all goes. We have some more comments here. He's in a position where he's a huge asset to a major league franchise, and that franchise is going to be sold. I don't think anybody wants to work for someone they don't know, so it's kind of a ghost contract. We don't know who's going to pay it. Consequently, that's an interesting part too. It's like you're doing this contract, but then you're going to have possibly some new ownership come in, and it's like, I mean, you're signing a contract with the current ownership, but if they're going to sell and then you got new ownership coming in, how do they feel about that contract? So does new ownership come in and be like, no, we don't want Soto. No, we got to get rid of this. No. Trade. Get rid of this contract. We're going to have to get rid of it. That makes a lot of sense too for Juan Soto. You know, it's like, you don't know what's going on with the Nationals right now. So you maybe need to look out for yourself a little bit. So goes on to say here, consequently, when you're a player like Juan, you're a winning player, and you want to make sure there's a lot more things than dollars and cents involved, and who you're going to work for and where you're going to be for the majority. I think that's a big thing. Obviously, he wants to get what he's worth. He knows he's gonna just get an absolute payday. Absolutely knows that. But he's also kind of looking at, you know, but I do want to be in one place for the rest of my career. I want to start settling down. You know, he wants to get this all squared away. And if the Nationals don't know what they're doing, well, then why sign up with that organization? You know, he likes current ownership, but how is he going to feel about the next ownership that comes in if they do end up selling? So I don't know. But goes on to say here, Soto said that he had not been thinking about playing for another team and wanted to claim another title with the Nationals. He called the team's lack of winning very frustrating. He admitted that the negotiations and added attention have weighed on his mind. He also said that he would probably want to pause in-season discussions because it's very hard with all this talk and trying to make a winning team. I've been a National since day one. Why should I want to change? I've been here my whole life and my career. I feel great where I'm at. Well, Juan Soto, it definitely could be looking like you could be playing somewhere else. We have an article here on the New York Post from Greg Joyce. You know, I didn't know this was allowed. Like, I don't know. I guess I've heard comments like this before, but it's interesting to hear other players chime in on this. Yankees Garrett Cole wants Juan Soto to come to us amid trade rumors. He goes on to say here, playing in New York against the Mets. Oh, yeah. Also, that was another thing Juan Soto said today. That wasn't in this article. He was talking about the Mets today. Playing in New York against the Mets. I love it. I love to play against them. Hit the ball hard. If you see my numbers at that field, it's just amazing against them. It's a great feeling. Let's go take a look at Juan Soto's numbers in Queens. Let's go take a look here. Juan Soto, as of right now, looking at his numbers, hitting 250, 20 homers. He's on pace for, right around 40 homers. 405 on base. This dude's just so good. He's so good. But let's take a look at the splits. Let's actually take a look. Where does he play pretty well? Let's look at his career. So, look at ballparks. Where are the ballparks? Here we go. Okay, that did not go to the ballparks. What is going on? My computer is frozen. What is happening to my computer right now? You are kidding me. We're trying to look at Juan Soto numbers right now. Here we go. Taking a look. All right, cool. You guys can see it on the screen. But in his career, his highest OPS is at Yankee Stadium over 4 games. My goodness. Could you imagine? Next up is Great American Ballpark with the Reds. The 3rd best OPS in his career at a ballpark is Citi Field. Look at his numbers at Citi Field, man. He's hitting 350 there, a 464 on base, a 709 slugging. He's got 10 home runs at Citi Field. My goodness. My goodness, man. It's crazy. Atlanta, he's really good. And these are all the teams in the division. But Atlanta, Philly, Texas. It's only 3 games, but where are some other games? Where are the most games that he's played? He's played in Miami quite a bit. Obviously, it's the NL East that he's played at the most, but he has just good numbers everywhere he plays. Like, it doesn't really matter. It is interesting seeing his numbers at Citi Field. That's the best part. Like, if you're looking at in the division, that's the best division. That's the best park in the division where he's played. Hey, Pittsburgh Pirates. He's hitting 353 at PNC Park. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Pirates, man. They're making some good picks. Maybe the Pittsburgh Pirates will finally open their checkbooks. Let's get Juan Soto, man. They got the farm system, man. If they wanted to go get a deal done, they probably could. No, they won't do it though. Come on, get Juan Soto in a Pirates uniform. Oh, I would love it. Come on, man. Come on, can we manifest this? Juan Soto to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Come on, man. Open up those checkbooks. What are you doing? Pirates fans, I know you want Juan Soto. Hey, look at Baltimore, man. I made a video not too long ago about some good fits for Juan Soto. Not the one that I just made this week, but I made it like over a month ago. I had the Orioles as a possible good fit. I also had the Detroit Tigers as a good fit. He has not hit well there in his career. He's only played 3 games, but he's only hitting 143 over those 3 games. San Diego, that's another place. He's done all right there, hitting 241, 343 on base. I've decided, man. I've decided. I want Juan Soto to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's get this done. I need to see it. But he has actually played pretty well at Busch Stadium. 381 career on base there. Only 1 homer. But pretty decent numbers. 441 slugging is a little low. Hey, he's done pretty well at Wrigley. Let's get him to the Cubs, huh? Let's get him to the Cubs. So, yeah, Juan Soto, man. In this article, let me talk about some other other parts of this article here. So, talking about Yankee Stadium, I've never hit the ball over there. Who has 3 home runs in 4 career games in the Bronx, but went opposite field twice and right center once. Playing against the Yankees is really cool to hear the noise and shut it down. That would be pretty cool if he went to the Yankees, man. But Garrett Cole actually chimed in on this. You know where I really don't want him going? I don't want him going up to Boston. But if he's going to go, I want to see him come to us. It's pretty interesting, man, that these players are just, yeah, come on, Juan Soto, let's go. It's like, I thought isn't this like against the rules or something? Isn't this like tampering or something like that? I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter if players are saying it. But, yeah, Garrett Cole, man. Everyone wants Juan Soto. I mean, come on. I mean, what is there really to discuss here? It's just interesting that these players are coming out and talking about it. Yeah, hey, Juan Soto, the Red Sox, the modern-day Ted Williams in a Red Sox uniform. Hyde, where you at, man? Hyde, need you to come through here. If Rafael Devers, if he's not going to sign that extension, go send Rafael Devers to the Washington Nationals. Bring in Juan Soto. Rafael Devers, Tristan Cassis, Marcelo Mayer, maybe a couple other prospects. Go get Juan Soto, the modern-day Ted Williams. The modern-day Ted Williams, man. I'm all about it. He goes on to say, I would hate to see him go to a team that we got to play down the stretch. It'd be fun to see him in New York or be wherever he wants to be. Talking about here with the Mets, Starling Marte. It would be phenomenal. He's one of those guys that doesn't have any flaws. Edwin Diaz chimed in. I hope we can get the chance to have him on our team. So, pretty interesting to see these players chiming in. We got a super chat coming in. There it is. Jonathan Tucci. I just cracked my voice. What the heck is going on? 199 super chat. I think Seattle is the perfect place. They do got the farm system to get it done. For Juan Soto, absolutely. Could you imagine Juan Soto and Julio Rodriguez, the two guys? Was that a bit of like a sign tonight? Julio Rodriguez and Juan Soto in the finals? Maybe. Seattle Mariners, Juan Soto. Let's do it. Let's go back here. Baseball America even made an article about Juan Soto. Everyone's getting in on the Juan Soto action. Oh, man. Which teams have the prospect talent to acquire Juan Soto? Hey, Baseball America, I'm all about it. Taking a look here. They got the Dodgers at number 1. They got the Guardians at number 2. They're talking about prospects. They're not talking about maybe good fits. The Guardians are not going to pay Juan Soto the money. But Dodgers here. I mean, I think that's pretty well known. The Dodgers are always a threat to acquire someone like Juan Soto. Me and John Bitzer of Baseball Trade Values, the last time that we talked a couple episodes ago, we talked about how the Dodgers are just such a dangerous team when it comes to any trade. Speaking of myself and John of Baseball Trade Values, we will be having another episode this Wednesday, another episode of MLB Trade Talk. I see a lot of you here in the chat, 267 of you. Be here Wednesday night. You know we're going to talk Juan Soto. I need to hear what John has to say about Juan Soto. Connor Gray, $1.99. Pujols recruiting Soto. Oh, man, oh, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not. You can't really. I guess you could recruit him to sign, but it's going to come down to, what do the Cardinals? Does the organization want to get it done? But could you imagine Pujols? He just kicks open the ownership's doors. Hey, man, I'm on my way out. Go get Juan Soto, man. What are you doing? But talking about here, I mean, the Dodgers obviously have a lot of prospects. The top guys, you got Cartaya, Miller, Vargas, Pages, you got Pepio. You got a lot of guys here. You got a couple of young guys on the major league roster, too. Gavin Lux is always a guy that's mentioned in possible trades. I remember with the whole Luis Castillo trade talks. That was one guy I kept seeing a lot in proposed trades. There's also Brusdar Graterol. I feel like the Dodgers would want to hang on to him. But Brusdar Graterol, man. A part of me still wishes that he came to the Red Sox. I do like that we ended up getting Verdugo and Jeter Downs. But a part of me always wanted to just see what Brusdar Graterol would do. But taking a look at the Guardians. Obviously, the Guardians have the pieces to get it done. but they're just not going to want Soto. They're not going to sign a guy to an extension like that. The Cardinals, speaking of the Cardinals, now the Cardinals are really interesting. Now, I mentioned this in my video the other day about Juan Soto. I kind of need to clarify what I said a little bit. I mentioned in that video when I was talking about a possible Cardinals trade for Soto that the Cardinals have never really made like a big splash. Yes, they have traded for Paul Goldschmidt. Yes, they traded for Nolan Arenado. They have made those splashes, but what I meant was not to that level. And they don't really ever go out there and sign big free agents too. I should have been a little more clear about that, but in the free agent market, they tend not to spend a lot of big bucks. They have made a couple of trades with Goldschmidt and Arenado, but they've never made like a trade. Those are really good players, but they've never gone to the lengths of getting, you know, someone like an Alex Rodriguez or, you know, like a high profile kind of a player. I mean, Goldschmidt and Arenado are really good, but I mean, they're not Juan Soto. But I should have been a little more clear about that in that video, so apologies on that. But the Cardinals, they got a lot of, they're top heavy with their farm. You got guys like Jordan Walker, man. You know, you got a young guy like Dylan Carlson that you could send back in a deal. The Cardinals got the pieces, man. Juan Soto in a Cardinals uniform. I love that kind of classic fit. You know, I love the classic teams like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Reds, the Cardinals. I love those teams that have been around for just years. And to see Soto, who to me is like a transcendent kind of a player, to be on like one of those teams, to me, Soto on the Cardinals would be extremely fun. They got the Padres here. They got the Blue Jays. I find the Padres to be a really interesting fit. They would have to get rid of pretty much the rest of their good pieces in their farm system, but they could get something done if they wanted to. CJ Abrams, having a guy like that is definitely helpful. The Blue Jays, I mean, they could get something done. Now the question is, do the Nationals want to, because they already have a young future stud for the catching position in Kyber Ruiz. Do they want to get another catcher in Gabriel Moreno? And that's the same thing with the Dodgers too, because you got Diego Cartaya. Do they want catching prospects? Because at the end of the day, the Nationals, I mean, they're going to have, you know, yeah, sure, you're going to have all these packages, but what package will they like the most? So that's what I'm basically saying here. Would they like the package from the Dodgers and the Blue Jays? Because they're thinking, well, we already got Kyber. So, but the Blue Jays, they could get something done. The Mariners are really interesting. They got a lot of prospect wealth. We just had the super chat earlier. But the Mariners, they could definitely do it. Ugh, Juan Soto and Julio Rodriguez. Oh, my goodness. When Julio Rodriguez comes up to free agency, then you got a little bit of a situation on your hands, man. If Julio Rodriguez keeps playing the way he's playing, that dude's going to get some big bucks, man. You think Soto's getting some big bucks? Let's see what Julio Rodriguez ends up getting. You got the Mets. But the Mets are another one, too, where you got Francisco Alvarez. I think the Mets are more in a better position to sign Soto as a free agent. I think that could end up happening. But Alvarez, you could send him back. I guess you could with these catching prospects. You could always move someone off of catcher. Maybe move them especially if they're like a good hitter. Like Kyber Ruiz, he's a good hitter. So, you know, you could move him to another position like first base or something. I don't know. And the Orioles. I mean, the Orioles, man, got the Marlins too. Have the Marlins been saving their money for Juan Soto this entire time? Is that what's going on here? Is that what the ownership's doing here? Have they been saving all their pennies and their dimes for Juan Soto? Is that what they're trying to do? The Orioles. I did mention the Orioles in my video over a month ago with Juan Soto, where, I mean, they could get something done. They absolutely. They're not getting rid of Adley Rutschman. They're not doing that. But they got some pretty nice pieces there. And then they got the Yankees at number 10. God, that video. Who was the guy that proposed the trade with Juan Soto and the Yankees on The Athletic? God, The Athletic just stinks, man. They got some good writers there, but good God, they got some people there, man. They just don't know what the heck they're talking about, man. This guy, I don't know what his name was. I think his name was Mark or something. This dude just put a trade together. What was the trade that he put together? It was Soto for Volpe, Jason Dominguez, and I think Gleyber Torres. Yeah, that was the trade. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, this is horrible. Though Jason Dominguez, his value has really imploded, man. Like, he's really, there's a lot of potential with him, but he hasn't really shown it yet. That's the only problem with Jason Dominguez. If he starts playing well, his value will definitely go up, but it's just not as high as you would think right now in this moment. I'm not saying he won't be a good player, but in this moment right now, his value is not great. And I'm thinking like, God, you put a trade together and you didn't even put Anthony Volpe in the trade? Good grief. Go home, make a sandwich, just go to bed. Just go home. What? My God, that was horrible. Go look at that trade. Whatever. You got to pay for the Athletic anyway. They've lost like, what, $150 million over the last year in revenue. The Athletic, they just stink. But that's what Baseball America's got here. We're going to have to wait and see, man. We're going to have to wait and see. I think overall, in the end, I think Soto just ends up staying, and then it'll be an offseason kind of a thing. Because when we've seen big names like this, Alex Rodriguez back in 2004, Miguel Cabrera in 2007, usually these big trades happen in the offseason. I think the media loves it. The media is going to eat it up. They're going to go crazy with it. I think John Heyman actually wrote an article today. I feel like he did write something. Yeah, it was on the New York Post. Let me show you this one too. Nationals unlikely to be able to pull off Juan Soto trade before deadline. So talking here, he was talking with, who is he talking with here? There's surprise that the Nationals are now working on trading Soto after originally saying he wasn't going anywhere, and there's a healthy dose of skepticism that they can actually pull this off. Not by the deadline. Seems to be a near consensus about the viability of dealing arguably baseball's greatest hitter. One rival executive likened this to a Kevin Durant deal, but there's a difference. It's a Durant deal with a deadline. So Scott Boras, he was saying also today, they said 1 month ago they were never trading the player. Now they're saying they're considering it. So there's certainly teams lining up for Soto. Early speculation is centering on the Padres, the Cardinals, and the Mariners, along with usual big market suspects, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Rangers, and Giants. Would you say the Rangers and the Giants are big markets? Or are they like kind of, are they the, I don't know. I feel like the Rangers and the Giants aren't big markets like the Yankees and the Mets. I don't know. I feel like they're decent sized markets, but they're not like huge markets. But yeah, I don't know. I in a way I kind of agree with Heyman, but like I said, we've seen crazy stuff happen before. We're just gonna have to wait and see what ends up happening. However, Kevin H. Yeah, I guess the Giants are a pretty big market, aren't they? I'm just thinking of, because you got, to me, the Dodgers are a bigger market. I just think they bring in more revenue. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I think of the Giants as a good market, but not like the level of like the Yankees and the Dodgers, like where they're bringing in like just tons of revenue. The Giants definitely have a big market. I'm not saying they're a small market. I'm just saying like when it comes to like top tier, I don't know if they're quite in that top tier. I could be wrong. But moving on. Let's talk about a guy that I think will for sure get traded. I don't see why this guy would be sticking around. To me, I think he's going to be going somewhere if he is healthy. We got a super chat coming in. Before I actually pull up that story, because I won't be able to see the super chat on the screen. Connor Gray. Cardinals are willing to take on Price and Stanton. That is true. Giancarlo Stanton, they were in talks with them, and I think he vetoed a trade. In 2025, they only have $33 million committed. Trading for and signing him means the Cards build around Soto, plus they have the free Arenado money. Yeah, I think the Cardinals definitely work. I forgot about the Stanton part. That is also true. That's a good point you're making there, Connor. Thank you for pointing that out to me. And also David Price. They were in on David Price too. So, they just never really seem to get the deals done, like the big, juicy deals. They've made some good deals, very good deals over the past, but, not like that huge, like, landscape-changing kind of a move. Very good moves over the years, but, they've swung and missed on a couple of where they went out for Stanton, didn't get it done. Price, at the time, Price was a huge free agent, and they couldn't get it done with him. But yeah, anyway, I think Soto would be a great fit for the Cardinals. I mean, to me, what would you rather have? Dylan Carlson and Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn, or Juan Soto? I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I've said that a lot. But let's move on to thank you, Connor, for the $9.99 super chat. I really do appreciate the support as always. Taking a look here at the next story. This is a guy that I think will get traded if he is healthy, and that is Frankie Montas. He is going to be starting on Thursday. It's been kind of interesting with Frankie Montas in the last couple of weeks here. If we take a look here, Montas, remember, he was having some shoulder issues. He ended up getting a cortisone injection, and he hadn't started a game since July 3rd, so he's missed a couple of weeks. They actually wanted him to start before the All-Star break, but Frankie Montas said, no. I want to wait till after the All-Star break. I want to make sure I'm good to go. I can understand why the A's wanted to get him out there, because they want to start showing him for teams. So, in the end, I think Montas, everyone's forgetting about Luis Castillo and Montas right now. But he's still a huge piece out there. Everyone wants to talk Juan Soto, but don't forget about Montas having a great year. And hopefully he's healthy, man, because a team is really going to, if they trade for him, a contender, they're really going to need him down the stretch. I think it'd be a great fit for the Dodgers, maybe a team like the Yankees. I think the Yankees might balk at that. Just because of the shoulder issues. They already got guys they're trying to keep healthy, so I don't see them doing it. Maybe the Dodgers. It'll be interesting. Maybe like the Twins because of the shoulder issues. I don't know. I wonder if these bigger market teams kind of back off of Montas, and maybe like a team like the Twins or the Cardinals, who we're talking about, maybe they emerge as a possible fit for him. So I could see it, but interesting. Montas looking to start building his value back up this Thursday. Moving on to our next story. I'm going to talk about this not too long because I know I could talk about this forever. But Rafael Devers. Details of his extension have come out. So, or not an extension, but talks of an extension with the Red Sox. So prior to the start of the season, the Red Sox and third baseman Rafael Devers engaged in some extension talks that didn't yield much progress, as the two sides were reportedly around $100 million apart. The Red Sox were looking at Matt Olson's deal as kind of the sweet spot for Rafael Devers, the 8-year $168, because they don't see Rafael Devers as a long-term third baseman. They see him as more of like a designated hitter, maybe go play some first, because Rafael Devers, he has not been a great defensive third baseman. He's doing okay this year. He's been a lot better, but they don't see him long-term as a third baseman, or they're at least not looking at paying him like a third baseman long-term. So they're looking at the Matt Olson 8-year $168. Now, the advantage for Devers in that situation is Devers is younger than Matt Olson when Matt Olson signed that deal. So to me, I feel like you're $100 million apart. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like it says here, Olson and Devers don't really make an apples to apples comparison. I agree with that. I don't think they're really I see why the Red Sox would be comparing it to Olson, just because they see Devers as not really a long-term third baseman. But then again, Devers, that bat is just game-changing, and he's young, I don't know. But I think with Devers, man, the Red Sox, I'll tell you this right now. I talked about this today on the BLEAV in Red Sox podcast. I did episode 12 today. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I did talk a little bit on there. With the way the Red Sox are playing, And with the Red Sox and Devers being far apart in talks, I wonder if the Red Sox would be open to possible trade conversations with Rafael Devers. I mean, the Nationals, it's the same situation. Rafael Devers is actually going to get to free agency sooner than Juan Soto. So the Red Sox right now, if they're not thinking that they're going to be able to contend this year, if they don't think they're in really a great spot, you might want to look into maximizing Devers' value. I mean, if the Nationals are looking to trade Soto because they can't extend him, why would the Red Sox not do the same thing with Rafael Devers? I'm just saying. Rafael Devers is getting to free agency sooner than Soto. He's a free agent after next year. Soto is a free agent after a couple more years. Do not be surprised if Devers' name starts coming up. I really wonder about that. And don't be surprised if Bogart's name starts coming up too. I think that's more realistic. I think with Devers, if you do see him get moved, but then again, teams might want to get him now. Because if they wait till the offseason, well, then he's only going to have one more year left. If they trade for Devers now, they would get him for a season and a half. So I would think for the Red Sox, the time might be now to trade him. If you are going to trade him, it might be now. If you're not going to extend him, then trade him. You'd get a haul back for him. $60 million roughly worth of prospects. I'm just saying. I don't want to trade him. I'm not sitting here saying it, but if he's not going to sign, and if you're not going to put your best foot forward to try and sign him, the best option is to trade him. I'm sorry, it's a business. Like, I love Devers a lot, but if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to come to terms on a contract extension, then you need to look into trades. Same thing is happening with Soto here. It's the same thing. But moving on here, I am actually going to just kill two birds with one stone. And, because I am talking about the Red Sox here, I'm going to talk about Chris Sale just for a quick second here. Chris Sale, nasty injury to his finger, a broken pinky finger, getting hit by an Aaron Hicks line drive. He got surgery today on that finger. And it looked like in that moment, he basically ran off the field and he said, I'm done. But with Chris Sale, it is actually looking like he could return. So the team believes it's still possible for Sale to return later this year. I think the next week or so, coming out of the All-Star break, I think the week after the All-Star break is going to be the most important week for the Red Sox this year. It's because it's like it's going to determine what you're doing. I mean, maybe it might not change all that much. Maybe Bloom is thinking right now, okay, this is the spot we're in. We're not going to sell off the team, but we're probably going to, maybe we can make some moves to maybe sell some pieces, but also bring some pieces back in for the long term. Chaim Bloom is looking at it like that. He's looking at the team now, but also for the future. And he's been on the record of saying that with possible trades. If you're going to be making a trade, with Schwarber, that was kind of a cheaper deal to make. You weren't really losing a lot when you traded for Schwarber. But with Bloom, the way he likes to do trades for the most part, he wants to help the team now, but also help the team for the future as well. So if he can if he can kill two birds with one stone in a trade like that, perfect example is Jackie Bradley Jr. He took on a bad contract, but he got some decent prospects along with it. They also brought back Alex Benelis in that trade. And I'm talking Rafael Devers here. Alex Benelis, third baseman. He's hitting pretty well in the minors this year. BQ Sports Highlights and Podcast with a $1 super chat. Thank you, my friend, for the support. Appreciate that. Christian with a $5 super chat. Not saying anything, just showing some support, man. Christian, I love you. I love you, man. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. BQ Sports Highlights and Podcast. Thank you for your support as well. Really do appreciate the support anytime, everyone. Thank you so much. But I'm just saying, man. Chris Sale, I mean, if the Red Sox aren't going to be really in it, I mean, why even have him come back? You know, just whatever. Go home. Just we're gonna go for it next year. So I don't know. The Red Sox are not in a great spot right now. We're gonna have to wait and see what ends up happening with the Red Sox. Before I do get out of here, it is almost 1 a.m. here on the East Coast. I want to go to bed. I am tired, but we have a couple of more things to talk about. Kumar Rocker today, signing with the Rangers. I mean, I guess that's pretty notable considering what happened last year with the Mets, but with the Rangers, it was pretty much obvious like they were going to get a deal done. If they picked him that high, they were going to get a deal done. But that was the most notable signing coming out of the draft. So that happened today. The Rangers signing Kumar Rocker. But let's talk a little bit about the draft today. I got a few picks that I like from day 2. Let's pull up some of these picks here. The first guy I want to bring up. Let me actually pull up these. Here we go. Round 3. Getting here. I mean, the first pick of the draft. Nolan McLean to the Orioles. Pretty solid pick, man. A little bit of a reach, but there's a lot to like with him, man. Let's pull him up. Baseball America. That, to me, is the most valuable source. Let's see where Baseball America had him ranked. They had him ranked 135, so even lower, but he's a two-way player. Big fastball, got a good curveball, good slider. The control needs some work. With the bat, though, he's got good power, 55 power. Not really the biggest athlete or the most athletic guy out there, but he's got a 60 arm, obviously, with the pitching. But he's a really interesting player coming out of this draft. I think he's a fun player, 6'3", 207, coming out of Oklahoma State. I did like that. But to me, that was the first pick of the day. But to me, the best pick today was Brock Porter. I mean, Brock Porter. This dude was the 12th best prospect, and the Rangers picked him they picked him in round 4. Brock Porter going 109. So the Rangers are probably, they're going to try and go over slot for him. It's still, going to have to wait. I haven't seen anything, but I wonder if Brock Porter ends up going to Clemson. He's committed to them. Can the Rangers get a deal done? Is there any news on Brock Porter? I mean, Dallas Morning News, they talked about it here. Oh, you got to pay for this. So I guess it was part of a strategy. Jarvis Henley, $5 super chat. I think Bogaerts gets extended by the Red Sox and Soto gets traded for a king's ransom to the Yankees. Jarvis, man, all of my nightmares, you're fulfilling my nightmares right now. Please do not manifest this. I don't want to see it. I don't mind Bogaerts. I'm okay with bringing him back. I'm absolutely okay with bringing him back. But no Juan Soto to the Yankees. Please. No. Absolutely not. But thank you for the $5 super chat. Really do appreciate it. Oh, what do you know? The Dallas Morning News. I got to sign up for something. But, yeah, I guess with Brock Porter, I mean, if they're picking him this late, maybe they're thinking, all right, they can sign him. If they end up getting a deal done, oh, my. Oh, Waffle Man. Brock Porter removed Clemson from his bio and followed the Rangers on all socials. Well, okay, that says something to me. I'm a big believer in that. When guys are following Instagram accounts, unfollowing accounts, that says something, man. That's the day we live in. But Brock Porter, if he ends up going to the Rangers, holy cow. Dude, the Rangers, they're looking really good for the future, man. Can you imagine a rotation of Leiter, Kumar, and Brock Porter? Oh, what the heck is going on here? Brock Porter, there's a lot to like with him, man. Big fastball, good slider, one of the better changeups in the draft behind Dylan Lesko. Just a really good pitcher, man. And he was committed to Clemson, man. He was going to be a star there, but that's crazy. If the Rangers end up getting a deal done, good for them. Another big one. This is a pretty polarizing name. We had Ben Joyce. Ben Joyce, the guy that throws 105. The dude's got gas. Not the bad kind, the good kind with the fastball. 70 fastball, 70 slider. Is that Garrett Crochet or not? Like, it sounds like Garrett Crochet if you ask me. Control of 50. Joyce hit he's 6'5", 225. Dude, get this guy in the major leagues right now. Going to the Angels. What was that? What round was that? That was round 3. Let's go to round 3. That was the 9th pick. Out of Tennessee, man. Dude he throws darts, man. Good for the Angels, man, because there's not a whole lot going on with the Angels, but hey, good for them, man. Getting a big arm like this. Probably the most famous pitcher not expected to go in the first round. The track record for highly drafted college relievers is extremely poor, and Joyce's usage patterns at Tennessee give teams few insights into whether he can handle a pro workload. Joyce pitched on back-to-back days only once during the regular season, and generally had 3 to 4 days between outings. Thanks to the pandemic and Tommy John surgery, Joyce has only thrown 50 innings since 2019. So, hey, not a lot of tax on that, or not a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a lot of mileage on that arm. And, yeah, man. He sat at 101 on. So, hold on. Let's take a look here. Hit a growth spurt. He grew 8 inches in high school. Touched 100 miles per hour that spring. 4 years later, he was the hardest throwing college pitcher ever. Joyce touched 105 on multiple occasions this year. Topped out at 105 and a half. He sat at 101 with a four-seamer that proved hittable at the lower end of his velocity range. His plus-plus slider may be a better pitch than his plus-plus fastball. It's already hard, 83 to 86, plenty of sweep. Only 2 batters put the slider in play during the regular season. Although it's currently a chase pitch, he doesn't throw for strikes. So Ben Joyce, man, if the Angels, they can get him in that system, really get something going, this could be a closer in the future, man. This could be the heir apparent to Raisel Iglesias. My Red Sox picking Noah Dean. I like this. You know, I got to talk about my Sox here. Got to talk about my Sox. What round was that? That was the 5th round. Noah Dean, man. Came out of the same college with Justin Verlander. And where is this? What pick was this? This was pick number 23. There he is. So, yeah. Out of Old Dominion. That's where Justin Verlander went to school. And he's got some pretty decent stuff. There's some stuff to like about him. Noah Dean ranked 140 on Baseball America. Big fastball. 65 fastball, 60 curveball. Sounds like Justin Verlander already, but that's pretty much all there is to him. He's going to have to start adding some pitches, improving that changeup. Dean has put up eye-popping strikeout numbers throughout his 3-year career at Old Dominion and is one of the more exciting pure relievers in the 2022 draft. 44.7 strikeout rate out of the bullpen, and this spring he posted a 4.15 ERA, 26 innings. Struck out 46 batters in 26 innings. That is a lot. Only walked 16. So, or he walked 16. That's actually pretty high over 26 innings. Control is an issue for him. As you can see, only 40 control. Despite his erratic nature, lengthy arm action, and violent delivery, Dean's stuff is fearsome. Ugh. I'm already seeing Tommy John surgery. It just sounds like Tommy John. But I like that there's some good stuff with him. We also had Mason McGuire, another son of a former player. Mark McGuire's son. Oh, did I spell that right? Where is he? Why am I not pulling this up? Let me just type in Mason. Am I spelling McGuire right? I don't know how to spell. Where is he? Why is it not on here? No, he wasn't ranked. Huh. Mark McGuire's son was not ranked, but he went to the Cubs. Joe Girardi hater, $1.99. Where do you think Gallo gets traded to? I think he ends up staying. I really do. I think he ends up staying, man. I just feel like the Yankees are just going to hang on to him. I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe they could go get Benintendi. They could send Gallo somewhere else. I mean, I think he definitely could go somewhere, but I don't know. I just feel like he ends up staying. You know? That's what I think. That's just my gut. He's just going to stay with the Yankees for the rest of the year. He's not expensive. And he's serviceable out there in the field. You know? I'll have to wait and see. You definitely could ship him off. But Mason McGuire, son of Mark McGuire, there's not a whole lot with him. He went in round 8. But with Mason McGuire, they don't have a scouting report on him. So I can't really read anything. He's not even on Baseball America. I don't know why it's not popping up. Let me try it one more time. Baseball America doesn't even have a scouting report on him. But whatever. And the last one, I like Corey Lewis in round 9. Round 9. Taking a look at Corey Lewis. He was pick number 8. Going to the Twins. Twins, man. Loading up on some college players in this draft like they usually do. Corey Lewis, 233 out of UC Santa Barbara. The Friday night starter for UC, they don't have grades for him. 6'5", 235. He's got a big build, man. At a 3.57 ERA over 88 innings and 16 starts, 107 strikeouts over the 88 innings, walked 42. Does not have an overpowering fastball. Sits in the upper 80s and will touch 92, 93, but the pitch has tremendous riding life with exceptional induced vertical break numbers. He also throws a 70 to... because that's why I wrote him down. Because he has a knuckleball. And scouts actually think that it could be a good pitch in the major leagues. That teams will let him keep throwing it because it is a pretty good knuckleball. But he's mixing it in with curveballs, change-ups. That's why I put him down. I'm thinking, like, why did I write Corey Lewis down again? Because he has a knuckleball. You don't see knuckleball guys very often anymore. So, but, hey, man. Good day of the draft. I'm going to have to look more into it. There was just a lot going on today. But I did look at a few picks throughout here. Obviously, Brock Porter to the Rangers. That was big. But, hey, exciting night tonight with the Home Run Derby. Juan Soto, the Home Run Derby champion. Lots more Juan Soto trade talk out there. Got the All-Star game tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I might upload a video. I don't know. I might take tomorrow off. I'm not quite sure what I'll do. Be on the lookout. Make sure you hit the bell notification. That way you get notified if I do upload anything or if I go live. Everyone, on your way out, can you please hit that like button for me on your way out if you haven't already. Share the stream. And if anyone is still new in the chat, subscribe down below if you are looking for more baseball news and content. Everyone, it was a wonderful time. It is 1 o'clock in the morning just about, and I'm a tired boy. I'm going to go to bed. But everyone, have yourself a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.